It was in March when I was at another gathering at one of the great homes in England, the Holland House. I had been invited and went along with a few friends who dragged me out of my cave with ink and paper and the stench of alcohol to fill my sorrows and broken heart. I was standing with a group of ladies when I saw this woman that had avoided an introduction of sorts not so long ago, which now made me determined to meet her. She stood quite timid and out of place beside a man taller and more forward than she, a man she called her husband. I had yet to catch her gaze, and I became distracted. As time went on, I decided to look once more, and as a few seconds passed, she too met my gaze. As her eyes looked into mine, it seemed as if time froze itself, and she was the only one in the room. I peered into her eyes and felt as if I could see into her very soul, a soul that was young and new. Even new, it yet felt pain so immense, and sigh so depressed that her eyes leaked tears that matched my own. Yet, like with time, it continued. The room once again filled with noise and people, and the tears that touched her skin were no longer there, and her eyelashes masked the pain in her eyes. Within a few minutes, Lady Holland caught my eye and pointed at me to her fellow friends and urged them to come and meet me. The three walked over in elegance, and I turned over to face them and shook hands with each, but I only looked into the eyes of one. Her name was Lady Caroline. We chatted some, yet I couldn't keep my eyes off her, slim and not too attractive at first, yet mesmerizing all at once. However, within a few moments of chatter, her face changed to a look of disgust, to where she then turned and ran out of her room. As she ran, her dress fluttered behind her like the wings of an angel as I gazed upon her.
What a night was this one? I was talking with Lady Holland along with my husband, when all of a sudden I see Lord Byron staring at me. As attractive as he was, when Lady Holland brought me over to him to meet, I couldn't stand listening to him any longer. I knew I could not be affiliated with such a man as he, one who is mad, bad, and dangerous to know.
I left the gathering with my good friend Medwin, as we laughed about the incident with Lady Caroline. I told him that the lady had scarcely any personal attractions to recommend her, and was way too thin for my liking. I knew nothing would be more than the quick introduction to her slender body just minutes ago.
Morning, Miss Ethel.
Good morning, Lord Byron. How did you sleep?
Swallowing off the can with the stocks and Mrs. Papers.
I see. Do you remember the gathering at the Holland House you attended a few days ago?
Oh yes, of course. What do you ask?
Well, there seems to be some talk going around about Lady Caroline.
What sort of talk?
Well, she seems to be downplaying your work, saying a few comments here and there, no respect for your reputation, a complete fool, I'll say.
Apparently, Lady Caroline has been tarnishing my name around town, and I will not have it. My name is to be praised for the work I do is awed by millions. On an ordinary basis, I would care less about who speaks of my name, but she is a well-respected aristocrat, and I shall not have another aristocrat blemish my name with absurd opinions such as hers. Therefore, I have gone to confront this woman.
May I speak with you, Lady Caroline?
Speak as you will.
I heard there have been some negative opinions going around about my work.
I may have spoken a word or two about your work.
Well, aristocrat from aristocrat, I'm sure you can understand how important opinions are. I heard a work of mine was one of your favorites. Childe Harold, is it?
I found it quite disastrous.
I beg your pardon. I heard it was quite one of your favorites.
I was finally able to get my hands on this poem called Childe Harold, which I can say I fell in love with. My husband, William Lamb, is a handsome fellow in whom I have full affection for. However, the way he treats me sometimes is quite astounding. He treats me as if I am a child who has never seen the light of day. or introduced to the world of love and sex. I am no prude, or at least in the way he makes me feel when we're in bed. His laughter and taunting words are haunting, and the need to be looked upon with greater meaning and purpose is almost too much to bear. I want to be treated like a woman I am, from a faithful and docile wife to the passionate and desiring woman. This poem helped me realize this. I want it to be desired, and perhaps even by Lord Byron himself, he who wrote this magnificent piece. Perhaps I will even write a fan letter to him.
Perhaps it is one of my favorites. Yet, is it yours?
I beg your pardon?
Such weakness is expressed in those lines. Such insecurities.
Well, you see,
Oh, it's quite alright. In fact, I find these insecurities quite refreshing. In fact, even quite charming.
For the past few hours, I have become conflicted with emotions I cannot explain. My mind is as if it has been liquefied, my soul torn apart. How can one such woman have such an effect on me? When I first saw her, there were no emotions except for the distaste of her appearances. Yet now, her appearances mean nothing, for her opinion means the most to me now. I long and need to pursue this woman. She has drawn me in, and I know she won't be easy to get, but I must be with her, and perhaps my name will be saved, and love will be found for the both of us. Her pains are but a mere reflection of my own, and together we can heal each other's wounds and find happiness. I know that there is the possibility she may be in it for my fame, but the way she's treated me thus far, I highly doubt it.
Rogers, what do you have there?
Oh, just a few paintings that will go inside. Quite exquisite, I must say. What do you think?
I find them pleasing to the eye, but if you'll excuse me, I must be off.
Off to get to the woman? Lady Colonel?
The one and only.
I will not let these nerves get the best of me. She's just like any other woman I've been with. No, perhaps I'm wrong. There is something about her that draws her to me, a feeling of necessity that only she can fulfill. The secrecy, the romance, the intimacy is exciting and new. Perhaps I am wrong. Perhaps a woman can understand a man's wants and desires such as I.
This man, Lord Byron, what a rich and famous man he is, and quite the charmer too. Perhaps I was too hard on him from the start. Perhaps I didn't know I'd fall for him as much as I have now. We've seen each other on and off for a bit now. He started with the letters and the unannounced visits. A man that is determined is definitely a way to describe him. We have not met in front of people, however. My husband doesn't know of the affair. Yet, I believe that today I will discuss this with Byron, and I think he'll agree that going public is the next step into this beautiful love affair.
Good morning, Wade Caroline. You look lovely today.
Thank you.
Are you ready, my dear?
Of course.
I have grown quite fond of my Caroline, although her being married has brought me into conflict with my thoughts. I see her eyes full of lust for me, and all doubts fade. Her smiles are bright and shining like gold, and her eyes twinkle in the sunlight as they look into mine. Her hair shines in the sun as if it were a halo made from heaven, and she was the definition of beauty.
I would catch him staring at me in awe, admiration, and I would smile back, for I knew that the crinkle of my nose and the twinkle of my eyes made him weak. We talked, we laughed, and for a while we just lay in silence, looking into the depth of each other's eyes, as a feeling of understanding and complexion came over us.
Her breasts were mesmerizing as she lay there next to me. Her face so pale glowed in the sun, and I could see her eyes start to glaze from the wine we had cheated upon earlier. They almost looked as if there were tears about to run down her face, tears that almost ran down my own as I stared into those eyes that for some reason seemed to understand me more than I knew myself.
After lying in each other's embrace, he sat up and took a piece of paper in his hands. He had written me a poem. He stood up and read the poem with such passion. I was moved to the heart, and I could feel his love radiating down onto me. Before we left to go home, we talked about his poem, his writings, and we revised his poem because poetry can always become better. We talked about other poets in deep conversation that flowed like a steady stream.
Her knowledge of poetry is astounding. I'm glad out of all of them she finds mine likable, however more attracting that is. That is what love must feel like.
Yes?
I don't want to hide this anymore. Our meetings, our affection, our love.
I agree. Our love shall not be hidden, but presented to all.
And I see you've gone public.
We thought the time was right.
And your husband?
He remains affectionate to her, but Caroline's an open lover and he knows of his tendencies.
And are you okay with this?
We shall see.
Most days were good, yet like in all relationships, some were bad. On the good days we'd smile, laugh, and she'd show an interest in me and I'd show an interest in her. A common activity we both enjoyed were reading poems together, classics, anything. We'd discuss it, critique it, laugh about it, or just adore it. We could spend hours doing this, and time would pass like nothing I'd experienced before. Even with such intellect running through our veins, we still had lust for each other, and at times we would just get distracted and just gaze into each other's eyes and smile, and leave the books to the open air, and our lips would touch with such passion, it was as if we were the only two alive in that moment. Too bad it couldn't last forever. However, on the bad days, inner conflicts would arise, and my own insecurities would show. At dances, balls, and formal gatherings, men of all kinds would look in her direction, and she'd be the center of the party. Men could swoop in and steal her from my side, and of course she loved the attention, for that is who she is. Yet I, with my club foot, could do nothing but stare. Waltzing remained an impossible feat for me, and I knew that because of it, I held her back from spending the evening together. But I was supposed to be her true lover. I was supposed to be her only one, and yet there she is, holding the hands of a stranger, laughing, smiling, and giving herself to he who knows her not in the way I do. Time would pass so slowly, drink after drink, until my vision would get blurry, and I'd have to take a seat, but could still make out her blurred figure in the distance. I would stare at my club foot and think about the possibilities I'd have if I were without it, and it pained me to know I could be waltzing with her instead of the man with her now. On bad days like those, it usually ended in a fight. Screaming, yelling, tears, and jealousy is suffocating. It's as if we have been fighting about the same thing for years, and it's beginning to get old and boring. Indeed, with my looks and charms, I intrigued other women, and they, with their lustrous hair and smiles, intrigued me as well. And Caroline, with her slim, pale face, she too attracted men, but that I don't mind as much as her permanent affection for her husband. Oh, how much she still loved him made me mad. The attention she still gave him even when she was with me drove me insane. She even told me she loved him more than I. And I know that pursuing women is like a second nature to me until I have them. But with Caroline it was different. I had to be hers. I had to be her one and only. She had to be mine. However, with everything that has been occurring, it doesn't seem like this is the outcome I will get, especially with no explanation following.
Leave with you?
Why not? You leave your husband for me. Why not leave to a new land with me?
I don't know.
Byron. What have you gotten yourself into?
Well, my good and sensible friend, why don't you tell me?
Byron, you love the woman, and this has been shown on many accounts, but the affair has gone out of control.
Oh, I know, but I love her, I really do.
Does she really love you? Think of your relationship. Think of all you worked for. Everything will be tarnished.
I think you may be right.
Being alone. Get a new mindset and new scenery. And write like I know you can.
I think I might.
This couldn't get any harder, and I know my heart wants to stay and be with Caroline, but I know we could never really be together, not married. I had worked so hard to make it to where I am in my writing career, and I know I won't forgive myself if I let someone ruin it. My work is of utmost importance to me, and perhaps I can still keep in touch with Caroline and see her when I return. Until then, I know England is calling my name. Thinkest thou I saw thy beauteous eyes, suffused in tears, implored to stay, and heard unmoved by the plenteous sighs, which said far more than words can say. Thou keen the grief thy tears expressed, when love and hope lay both o'erthrown. Yet still, my girl, this bleeding breast throbbed with deep sorrow as thine own. But when our cheeks with anguish glowed, when thy sweet lips were joined to mine, the tears that from my eyelids flowed were lost in those which fell from thine. Thou couldst not feel my burning cheek, thy gushing tears had quenched its flame, and as thy tongue essayed to speak, in sighs alone it breathed my name. And yet, my girl, we weep in vain our fate and sighs deplore. Remembrance can only remain, but that will make us weep the more. Again, thou best beloved, adieu. Ah, if thou canst o'ercome regret, nor let thy mind past joys review, our only hope is to forget.